Patrick Mahomes doesn't throw 30 touchdown passes. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So that speaks loudly to the quality of
especially
wide
with all
receivers.
the shovel pass, the 4 or 5 that he gets off, or glorified handoffs.
Easy 4 or 5.
It should be there. What do you think his numbers are going to be this year?
Way better.
I do too.
I think they're going to be way better. I'd bet the over. If I was given the over under of 40, I'd probably bet over it. I think he's uber motivated. They seem to be motivated to throw the ball deeper. I think there's a certain let's keep Pat happy aspect to it also. He had to be frustrated. He didn't really show it that much. He did at times, but you just don't want to sourpuss Pat Mahomes.
You mentioned 40 touchdowns, and for some people they'll be like, well, that's not that. I mean, it's not 50. There have only been 19 40 touchdowns, and that includes the 350 touchdowns in there as well. There have only been 19 seasons where a quarterback threw for 40 yards. Like, you think if it's like 50 home runs? No, it's not. There's been like 5 million 50 home run seasons.
Right, yeah.
There have been 19 40 touchdown pass seasons.
And the first one was 40 years ago, so there's been time to build that number, and it's only gotten to 19.
Yeah, so I mean, that is a significant, when you say I'd take the over on 40, because I think, what is the number on him? I think it's like, is it 32 or something? I know FanDuel's got a number on there.
I'll check it out.
And we would guess that the defense is going to be, you would be surprised if they were as good as they were last year. So the offense probably has to be better. So I think there's some interesting things to be gleaned there. But you got the ultimate eraser on the pencil standing behind center. So things will probably be at least okay.
You mentioned standing behind center. When he is standing back a little ways from center, I am intrigued by whether or not the snaps are going to get to him this year.
True. If that starts to be a game issue again, and then they got to really do something about it instead of just say, it'll all work it out.
You'd call Seren 32.5. Both the over and the under are paying at minus 112 right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Stone cold over.
Absolutely.
Give me my phone.
Give me my phone
right now before that changes. That's like they get to a preseason game and he puts up some numbers. That's going to change. I'm on the over there.
Absolutely.
Where's the Royals? Are they at how many wins now?
50, still stuck at 56.
So, all right, come on, let's go.
Because I spent the last 3 innings trying to find out who was the last team to surpass the previous year's win total, the earliest. And it was all for naught.
Does anybody know if you have the over and they go over it well before the season's over? Do they pay?
I don't know that,
because I'm 17 wins away from cashing the biggest bet I've made since they've legalized. I got the Royals over.
I can't speak
I
for
need them to get to 72.5, I think was the number I got.
I'm almost certain that paid out, not last year for when I bet on the Jayhawks over, but the previous year it paid out.
When it happened.
Yes.
As soon as they went over, it was official.
Yes, and it was like 2.5, so I think as soon as I got to 3-0, it paid out.
That would make sense.
Well, they want you to get the money back in action as fast as possible.
Exactly. They want you to read
They don't want to lose it.
Listen, I like betting on sports as much as the next guy, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you all you do is win.
No matter what.
See my account. But, anyway. Yeah, but I think he's going to – I think Andy Reid spent the offseason, immediately went to work and said, all right, no more of this crap. And that's why they went out and got 2 speed receivers. That's why they drafted a tight end, a big, real tight end that can catch and block. I think everything was done to spice up the offense, except for a dressed running back.
Right, and I think that
which is okay.
Evidence has shown that he doesn't care. I don't think he really, that's way down his priority list, is running back. So, obviously.
And by the way, just checking, the 32.5 is by 5 the highest of all the quarterbacks. Both Joe Burrow and Josh Allen are 27.5.
Wow.
So it almost feels like how they put the highest win total at like 11.5. You know what I mean? Like the totals sort of come to the middle, even though someone's going to hit the extremes.
Yeah.
Those 3 all look good to me.
Yeah. Burrow staying healthy, I won't take the over on that.
Right.
Too often he gets hurt.
I take that back. Dak Prescott 28.5. That is the other one. That's one I had to check. 28.5, but still he's 4 ahead.
I
gap.
would address the Dak Prescott issue, but I watch ESPN in the morning, and so it's literally the only talking point right now on ESPN morning television. So it's always on in my background, and then when they just go down the Dak Prescott road, I'm like,
yeah,
you've got to be kidding me.
Fascinating. A fascinating look. Will Dak be back and jacked to the whack? He loves those Dak rhymes.
Yeah.
really.
More Danny Unleashed coming up next. It's brought to you by our friends at Easton Roofing. Listen, if you are a business owner, nobody does a better job of getting you ready for any kind of roofing project you need. If you're a property manager, like I said, a business owner, Easton Roofing offers turnkey solutions for property managers. Parking plans, schedule, safety plan, warranty expectations, all up front. There's no guessing with Easton Roofing. They're Kansas City's best. Online at eastonroofing.com or call 913-257-5426.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
Did you experience hail damage last year and never got the work done? Most insurance companies only give you a year to get the roof fixed, and if you don't get it done, you could possibly not be compensated in full for the replacement of your roof. If you've been procrastinating getting that damaged roof taken care of, give us a call at 913-257-5426, and we'll send out an expert to help you through the process. We're never pushy, we're just here to help. Easton Roofing. Integrity matters.
Nice. All right, the Nick and Jake's Olympic. Try that again. I said Olympic trivia, and I ended up with Olympic trivia answer. In what year were the Summer Olympics first televised?
Well, TV's been around for a while. 44.
I'm going to say...
I don't think
Danny hadn't even gone yet. Did you give him a clue?
I didn't hear.
44?
I'll say 56.
I say 44.
I'll add a hint.
I don't think they had the Olympics in 44. I think he's right.
You're both wrong, and there was a certain the year it was
okay. Then I'll say 40.
Oh no, they didn't have him that year either. But the year that
then I'll say 36.
You're
Ta-da.
Nailed it.
The hint I was gonna,
moving on. Danny Unleashed.
The hint I was going to give you is the year that it is. A particular athlete would have had good reason to give some middle fingers to a particular host.
Jesse Owens.
Yeah.
And
What was it? What TV? What counts as being on TV?
The German, it says this is the first to have live television coverage in black and white. The German post office, using equipment from Telefunken, which I can't figure out what that is, broadcast over 70 hours of coverage to special viewing rooms throughout Berlin and Potsdam, and a few private TV sets transmitting on the Paul Nipkow TV station. So it was
Good on them.
It is credited by the Olympics as being the first Olympics.
who are
that
you
were
to
televised.
question
I wasn't questioning
the Olympics?
it. I'm just. This sounds
the purity, the most pure,
form of
scandal-free form of sports.
Oh wait, there are Russians competing.
Well,
Are they competing?
I think they're
as
still doing that.
Russia?
No, I think they're
Or
still
are
doing
they-
that independent thing.
Yeah, I think they compete as individuals.
But don't they call them as like the independent athletes
It's like
from Russia?
IOC, or something like that.
It's like they're Russia. Just, if
Along
you're going to
that
let
line.
them compete,
yeah.
then just call them Russia.
You know where they're from.
call it
If
what
you want to do something, don't let them in.
Right. Although the athletes, I kind of agree with the sentiment of not punishing the athlete, because his country's leader is a jackass. But the whole thing is, a lot of times used in ways it shouldn't. It's a sports competition. Let's have it be a sports competition.
Well, what'd you say earlier about the North Korean team?
Well, it sucks being a North Korean athlete because your dear leader is a better athlete than all of you.
Oh, yeah. Hole in one first time he played golf.
According to the official.
I think he claimed to shoot like 34
In a golf-
in a round of
He
golf.
had a hole in one
Something.
the first time he played. Hole in one.
To shoot a 34, he had 2 in just that round.
Yeah, he'd have to have
and
2.
He had 2 on the rest.
It was some ridiculous score. Maybe it wasn't 30. It was ridiculous. No, it was better than in the 50s, I believe.
But what is not unlikely is a great time watching the Olympics at Nick and Jake's. That is the Olympic spot.
That's a good spot.
You can check out there
they have French-themed foods, I saw.
Paris-inspired foods are going to have one menu the first week and another menu the second week. So you're going to have a nice variety, including a couple of things we've already tried this week, the steamed mussels or the moule marinière.
Is it moule?
No, it's actually moule. I checked it out. It's moule. Marinière.
Good for him.
With the garlic butter and white wine sauce, which we had. I'd never had mussels before. These are really, really good. How about the French ham and cheese semi on toasted artisan sourdough with ham, Gruyere, and Parmesan? That's called the croque monsieur, with a nice heirloom tomato and cucumber salad.
One of the first things I learned to make in French class.
That's a croque monsieur.
Croque monsieur. Or you can add a sunny side up egg and make it a croque madame. And the picture on the website, oh my God, this looks so damn good. It looks really good. So absolutely get to Nick and Jake's. They got the fantastic French wines, the Bordeaux's, all the Merlots and everything, and the French beer, the Kronenberg 1664 and the 1664 Blanc. So if you like to watch the Olympics and you like really good food and you want a taste of Paris, head to Nick and Jake's and watch the games. They'll have all the games on all the TVs, and food's always great and a really fun time. We mentioned this in the first hour. You know how they treat the Masters. Just that's how they treat the Olympic Games, and it's always top notch. And so I would advise you to get to Nick and Jake's.
And they should think about having some mimes there.
And thanks to Adam for cranking out a little 38 special for me there. That was nice.
And I think in addition, just to honor the Olympics being in France, everybody gets a lit cigarette to puff on in there. No?
Not
going to happen? Okay.
A painter's palette. You can.
I've been to France. I've been to Paris once, and I found it. The standard joke is that they can't stand you, and I had a lovely time there. I mean,
really?
The people were nice, the waiters were fine, people were friendly. So I loved it. I was only there a couple of days. Maybe I just got lucky, but I did not have the experience that I was stereotypical. They hate Americans. They're ugly Americans.
I didn't hate it either.
Are the Royals? Are you guys done?
The Royals.
Are the Royals going to get anything done at the deadline? We saw Randy Arozarena move last night. I thought James Paxton was kind of a guy that when he got DFA'd, I'm like, okay, let's.
Red Sox traded for him.
I know the Red Sox traded for him. That's what I'm getting.
I know,
at.
Yeah.
I thought that was a guy that like, okay, here's a cheap acquisition that maybe just needs something tweaked a little bit, but he really hadn't pitched that bad. It's just the Dodgers had Kershaw coming back. I don't know, maybe he's a jackass or something, but back to Boston.
I haven't heard that. I don't know. I think I'm hoping maybe they've seen enough encouraging signs, or maybe they're playing the balance of, David Lesky today, our friend from Inside the Crown, said that people he talks to says that they're thinking of being aggressive. I think that's what you do. I think it sends a better message to your team, not a negative one, really. I think a lot of times people, you don't want to break up the chemistry. I think most players, even if it's going to cost somebody their job, I think they feel better when, it's hard to, I think, play for Tampa. And in the middle of the pennant race, they just got their heads above 500 yesterday, and that means you're in it in the American League in the wild card race. And you trade off a Arozarena, who has been quite good for about 6 weeks now after a dreadful start to the season, but I wish they hadn't traded him to the Mariners, but that's beside the point.
Well, and
like NLT.
You said, it sends the right message, and so be aggressive at all costs?
No, not at all costs.
Because so many people are like, well, you gotta, I had this conversation with Passy. He's like, oh, if you're in it, you got to go for it. Yeah. I mean, look at, you never know what's going to happen. Look at the Diamondbacks. Yeah, they lost. Yeah. Right? Like, you kind of do. Like, it's not. The playoffs are a complete wild card when it comes to baseball compared to other sports, but they're not the wild card that they're made out to be. Okay?
No, it's although the last few years it's been a little more wild, I'll say that.
Well, but the other part that it has, but the other part that I don't like is like when national writers and national pundits talk about it, their reference is always from the teams that made the playoffs.
Right.
The reference is never. No one's writing a story anymore